Okay. I'll try to make a quick to the point video about how to use a Lansky sharpening system. And I'm not going to hold my hand over it and talk about it for 5 or 10 minutes before I actually open it up, and then I'm just going to get to the point, pun intended. If you happened upon this, don't subscribe. This is not for money, it's just for friends and family. You don't have to like, subscribe, click the notification bell, make a comment in the comment section, share it with your friends, email it, text it, send me a letter. You can share it if you want to, but whatever. All right, so this is the diamond kit. It does better than the standard stone kit, with hard metals, hard steels. And it probably worked faster if it's soft metal you're working with. But it's made really for hard steels. And the stones won't wear down as fast. And they're faster at cutting, hard steel. So it'll make it easier if you're using like a high-speed tool steel or something like that. This one, they're color-coded, but you can see there. Extra coarse, medium, fine. And this is ultra fine ceramic. First four, 1, 2, 3, 4, those are all diamond. This one is ceramic. Like with anything else, you start with coarse, you work your way up. Extra coarse, medium, fine, and then the ultra fine. This is like the polishing stone. With the diamond, the old kits, they used to come with oil in all of them. You don't use the oil with the diamond stones. The reason is this comes straight from the company. You don't use oil with the diamond stones, the first four, because oil can help clog the pores of the stuff. So you'll clog it up, muck it up, and it won't work as well. Oil you use with just the ceramic stone here, just the yellow one. And the other one, the regular kit with the regular stones, you use oil on all of them. In fact, I think they changed the diamond kit. Now it comes with a little brush instead of the oil. So oil for the yellow polishing stone. You can use soap and water, dish soap, shampoo, regular bar of soap, whatever you want, just a mild soap to clean these things up, after you use them. The diamond ones, ceramic too for that matter, after you use them. So let's make that clear. All right, so with the kit, you get these things here. As you can see, YouTube guys, as you can see, YouTube guys, you've got these little rods. Usually have 4 of them in there. You got the stones. I'm doing this one-handed, so bear with me. Sort of unscrew this little wing nut screw here, this thumb screw here. You unscrew it. The way it goes into these stones. If you look, I don't know if this thing will focus. There's a little indentation on these things. You're not going to be able to see it, but you'll feel it once you get it in here. So it goes into this thing from the bottom up. You stick it in the hole. You back this thing off first. Stick it in the hole. Okay. Now, as you start tightening this thing, this little wing screw here, thumb screw, God, one hand is tough. You get it snug. As you start to get it snug, you can feel that there's an indentation on this bar that will keep it there. Well, no, a little bit tighter. Should have done this beforehand. Okay, there it is. Okay, so you get it snug up against there, and then you feel it, some wiggle room. Okay, so I just did it. No, that's right. Yeah. When you push down here, it'll catch. If you have this really snugged up right about in that area, it'll stop right there. That's where you want to tighten this thing down. So when you tighten it down all the way, you got the rod. If you look at it, it's straight, even with the edge, the abrasive edge of the stone. So that's going to be right up in line with the edge of the stone. All right, you see that? Kind of, sort of, whatever. Okay, so now then, and you'll use, you know, blah, 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 just like we talked about. I talked about right down the line. You start with the most coarse, especially if it's a really dull blade. If you have one that's kind of sort of okay, you want to touch it up, you can start probably medium, maybe, I don't know. Use your best judgment. Okay, the screw here, people will tighten and booger up this screw. It's not necessary, because what you're doing, the way it works, another hand, this is going to be tough. Oh Lord, I gotta hold it with my legs. Okay, so on the spine of the blade here, you loosen the screw, you get it on here. If it's loose enough, gotta loosen it a little bit more. Oh, that's terrible camera work. Okay, so you loosen the screw. You want to have that loose so you can get the blade and the clamp here, right? You want to center this thing. You can snug it up with your thumb. You don't have to use a screwdriver. Just snug it up so that it fits nicely onto that blade. The way I like to do it, I like to have it centered, you know, from tip of the blade to the base of the blade, up and down. Have it centered that way, and have it, you know, clamped on a good solid part of the blade. Like if you look here, there's a flat part of the blade right there along the back. Get it clamped down on that part if you can, and make sure that this edge here is parallel, you know, within reason to the edge of the blade. So right in the middle, going this way, and then parallel to the edge. You get that screw snugged down, and then you get this other one here. Okay, so this thing right here, this is what actually tightens onto the clamp onto the blade right here. That's the one. It goes in this hole up closer. So we'll put this one. Sorry for the lousy. Told you don't subscribe. Probably gonna get dizzy and puke watching this video. Don't sue me. Unsubscribe, change channels, watch something else. Do yourself a favor. Okay. All right, now then, once you get this thing tight, what it does is it will tighten down here, and then naturally it's going to tighten all across this way here. So this is about where you need it already, that screw right there. This thing will finish tightening it. It'll tighten it and hold the blade in place. You want to get it reasonably tight, so it'll hold it where you put it. And remember where you put it, because all the other stones, you want to have them the same way. So I'm going to tighten that thing down. You want it pretty tight. You don't want this blade to be moving around in the clamp. I mean, the whole idea of this kit is to have a perfect edge. How are you going to have a perfect edge if the blade's moving all around in the clamp? You got to have it tightened where it's going to stay the same spot throughout this whole process. So you tighten it down. Now then, that's on there good. All right, so if yours came with the base, or somebody got a base to go with your kit, or you got your own base to come with the kit, you if you're like really serious about it, you got a workshop and you're going to use this thing often, you can screw this base down to your workshop table, whatever. If not, well, you don't have to use it. I don't use it. What I do, if you see the bottom of there, this threaded part here, that screws into the base if you're going to use the base. I don't use the base. This part here, focus. This thing here will fit into that hole. You know, and it goes both sides. You know, whichever edge, side of the edge you're working on, if you hadn't figured it out already, or, you know, whatever, it's You'll go one side, do the other side, and you do the other side. You go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth till you get a nice edge on each side, and you want to get it to the point where you're forming a burr on each side along the edge before you go to the next stone, before you go from extra coarse to coarse to coarse to medium to fine to extra fine, whatever. Okay, so this is how I do it. You just put it in the top, hold it like a pistol grip, just kind of like that. And then you'll take this stone. For me, doing a one-bladed folder like this, usually it's the 20-degree slot. It's that second one from the bottom there. That puts a decent edge on it. It's not too acute or not too whatever. I'm saying whatever too much. What I'm getting at is you don't want an edge that's too fine, that's too delicate, and you don't want one that's too blunt, that won't really cut when you need it to cut. You want that sweet spot where it's sharp, like really sharp, but it's, not so fine that, it'll actually hold its edge and retain its toughness a little bit, and you won't have to touch it up so often. So the rod will go right into that slot that you chose. If you go too low, another thing about going too low, if you go into this other slot here, that bottom slot, one-handed, I'm sorry. So if you go into the bottom slot, what you run into often, I don't know if I'm going to be able to demonstrate this business here, what you'll run into is a situation where you can see where this clamp right here on the edge, on the end of it, your stone will actually hit that clamp on the end, and you'll think you're sharpening the knife, but instead you're grinding that clamp right there. So you don't want that situation. Right now it's on the lowest, like the 17 degree, and you may have to play with it, switch it around, see what works for you. 17 may be all right, but you don't want that edge too fine, because the lowest you go, 17 degrees, that's going to be like a real fine edge, a thin edge, and the closer you get to the bottom, like the 17 degree, you'll also be closer to hitting the edge of the clamp right here and grinding your clamp instead of sharpening the blade. So just be aware of that. Use your head. Just think about it when you do it. So the way it works, you use the extra coarse. You use that. You'll grind on that blade. One-handed. How about I can do this? Okay, so you'll just kind of go. Now this is terrible right here, but I have no camera stand or anything. You want to be very careful not to slice your fingertips off when you're doing this. But you grind on it, okay? So you start from the tip to the, very base of the blade right there, you want to get the whole edge sharp, right? So go from one edge carefully to the other. You just, with a steady pressure, with the stone flat against the edge, tip, the very tip, all the way to the bottom. You start with the stone about here, and you grind, push and grind until you get to that side. And you can grind back and forth. That's what I do. You don't have to just grind one direction. It's not going to, it's not directional. So you can grind back, forth, just rick with this motion here, from tip to base. I can't do it because I'm like this. All right, so you do that until on the other side of the blade, you do that until you can see at the very edge, if you get it in the light just right, you'll see that it's the metal's so thin that it's kind of sticking up. And if you gently rub your finger across, and then as you come off the edge, you feel it sticking up. That's the burr. You want to feel a burr all the way from top to bottom, all the way along the edge. You want to feel a burr. If you feel a burr on part of the edge, but not the other part, like down at the base, you got a burr just fine, but not up here, Focus on this area till you get a burr up here too. Sorry for the fingers on the film. So once you get a burr, then you go to the other side. And, you know, until you get that burr, you can flip sides, back, forth, back, forth. You don't want one edge, one side of the edge all wonky, you know, and then the other one not so much. You want to have it even. So go back and forth until you get close. You can see when you're getting close by looking straight at the edge in the light. You know, you can see the edge. If it's a blunt, you know, dull edge, you can see the edge. So you go along with it, you know, until you're getting close. Flip back, forth, one side and other side, back, forth, you know. Do it a few minutes on that side, do it a few minutes on that side. And usually the same number, you know, same degrees on each side until you get close. And then once you start to feel that burr, then when you get a solid burr going along one edge, then you go to the next stone. I don't like get the whole kit out, drag everything out, and put one of these rods in every single stone. I use one stone at a time. You can only use one stone at a time. Why you need more than one rod? Finish with this stone, take the rod out, move to the next one. You do the same process with it. Get it till you get the smooth, even surface. And you get a smooth, even surface on each side. You get a burr, which, you know, develops nicely. You know, you can take it off, you know, by flipping to the other side and finish it up, and then move to the next stone, and so on and so forth, and what have you, and etc. And then you get this, use the oil on this, and you can polish that edge to a mirror surface. And once again, not my fault if you cut your finger off, but you have to be very careful. You know, I mean, obviously, you're over here sharpening a sharp edge with a knife, or what's going to be a sharp edge with these things, and you can guess what happens when you get careless. You're not paying attention. You know, you're watching TV, smacking your gum, talking to people. Next thing you know, this thing slips off or whatever, and it happens. So, careful. But anyway, doing it like that, you'll get perfect edge, and it'll shave the hair off your arm. If you're doing a kitchen knife, you can do larger knives. Kitchen knife, you just have to kind of use your head, ballpark it. If you're doing a kitchen knife that has an edge that comes all the way out to here, you know, you're more likely going to be able to use that 17-degree angle, this bottom one here. That would work all right for you, but not so much maybe on folders like this, you know. So you got to use your head, play with it, and see what works best for you. And don't cut your finger off. Don't sharp your eye out. I guess that's it. All right. I got nothing else to say. Good luck.